Welcome to Drinks Coach. This is a bit of a fill-in. I felt like there was some unfinished business. If you go back to episode 15, I talk about some unusual varieties from Italy. Varieties that mean a lot to me. There's a producer, an importer, which all the restaurants, all the serious restaurants in England know about, called Top Selection. You know who you are. Top Selection very quickly had to try and evolve through this crisis that we're all still kind of plugged into. And they decided to open both a shop, but also an online wine merchant very close to where I am, called Nine Elms Wines. Nine Elms is the road that runs along the south bank of the Thames towards Waterloo, past Battersea Power Station, and they've called it Nine Elms Wine. So you can buy this wine as a consumer now for $16.99, or go to a really nice restaurant where a large majority of this wine is sold. Now the restaurants are open. Adua. Okay, so Adua is a Gavi. Now, I think Gavi appeared out of nowhere, didn't it? A kind of suddenly, Gavi, and so on. I thought, try Gavi. Oh, I like Gavi. Well, there's good Gavi and there's really shit Gavi. Most of the really basic Gavi, I'm not mentioning places or names and everything, because sometimes you find something that's really excellent in those sort of places. But if you're going to go cheap on the Gavi, if you're going to do a $6.99 on Gavi, it's a thin, scrawny, slightly appley, like the old shit Soave kind of wines, or old crappy Pinot Grigio kind of wines. But it's got lots of residual sugar, and because there's residual sweetness in the wine, it hides a lot of the cracks. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Gavi. Now, why is Gavi so revered by Italians and in Italy? I'll tell you why. There are world-class wines in Italy. I mean, revered in a way that almost no wines on earth are revered apart from in France. The greatest Barolos, single cru Barolos, the greatest Barbarescos, the greatest Brunellos, the greatest Vinonobiles. There's all sorts of things. They all get this status, like Appellation Contrôlée in France, Qualitätswein mit Prädikat in Germany. In Italy, it is Denominazione Ordine Controllata. If it's really pimp, it's not DOC, it's DOCG. Denominazione Origine Controllata e Garantita, the only white wine in the whole of Italy that had DOCG status in the 90s. This fucker. Okay, let's have a taste. This is made from a grape variety called Cortese del Piemonte. And I just completely bloody love it. It's a wine that in simple wines, if you drink things like Bianca di Custosa, which is a blend of that and other varieties, is a kind of like a sherbety fresh wine. If you've got guys have got old vine Cortese, who don't want to filter it, don't want to use any cultivated yeast, but are trying to make a wine that has richness of expression, that's basically natural, that has maybe naturally goes through a natural secondary bacterial ferment, which we call the MLF, you end up with a wine like this. That's what it smells like. It's pillowy and creamy. Sure, there's something a little bit raw and curdy and natural around the edges, but it has incredible texture. This is Cortese, which is known to be the sherbet dip dab of the wine world. Here we've got a wine that tastes like a sponge cake. It's got such richness and roundness to it. Delicious. Great with seafood. You don't have to go very far from here. You can go to Geneva for some really fantastic shrimp. And I love Gavi, particularly with red mullet. One of the great fishes. Any pelagic fish, those fishes like that. Fantastic snapper. Brilliant. So at $16.99, you're pushing into the top 5% of all Gavi. They have Adua, a wine that only came across through a tasting, through R&R teamwork. Thank you very much for Top Selection. Just fantastic, textured, rich Italian white. That is going with some fish pie.